I'm going to actually encourage you just to stay up for a moment, just stay standing, because there's a quiz that my sermon's going to start with, which is best for everybody to stay standing until I give you the permission to sit down, if you will. That's great. I want you to think about how long you have lived in your current property, house, flat, whatever, and if you've lived here, if you've lived in it for less than a year, sit down. If you've lived in it for 2 years, sit down. If you lived in it for less than 3 years, sit down. 4, 5, 6 years, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years, 21 years, 22 years, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 56. Wow. There we have, how long? 62. That's great. Well. Good. Well, that's a start to be thinking also then. Put your hand up if you've downsized successfully and you're glad you've got less than you used to have. Can you put your hand up if you've downsized? Right there. Great big smiles on their face. How many of us put your hand up if you're conscious that you still need to clear out stuff? Yes. Yes. Lots of us. Majority. Okay. Well, our daughter, Letty, came back from being a student in Cambridge in September, and she didn't have a lot of stuff, but it was a carload of gear, of suitcases and pot plants and all sorts of things, and a bike on the back of the car. And I realized that I was going to have to put some of this stuff up in the roof. And that gave me heart palpitations, because I knew that the roof was stuffed with stuff anyway. And where was I going to find any extra space to put Letty's gear? But I did brave it. I had to. I had no choice. And fortunately, at the end of August, beginning of September, Mike Ledger and the Bodgers team, the site management team, had hired a skip to take away some rubble from plaster. And the skip wasn't full. And for years, I've said to myself, all I need, what I need to clear the roof is a skip. And fortunately, God provided, through the Bodgers, a skip that needed some extra stuff, and I managed to get a good 4, 5, 6 big boxes out of the roof and into the skip, which was great. I felt very good about that. And then there was the challenge of the bike. I don't know about you, but my garage is not a garage at all. It is a bike store and tool store. There are 2 bikes in it at least, large children's bikes, that have been given to me, or I have picked up, just going free on the street, whatever, that are there for our grandchildren whenever they get to come to us in 10 years' time and want to ride a bike. I still had to make room, though, for Letty's bike, and a miracle happened. Because of that prompt, I actually went to the garage and I cleared stuff out of 20 years' worth of things that would be put by, bits of wood, all, that stuff, all that'll come in useful one day. So I've been very, very grateful for that opportunity to clear stuff up. And like you that were able to put your hands up when you downsize, I can think with you, less is more. Less is more. It's great to be free of clutter. Well, our gospel this morning might lead us to suggest that not only is it good not to store things, not to accumulate things, as the man in the parable learnt that lesson, It's also a possibility. You might think that the gospel, in the gospel, Jesus is simply saying, relax, relax, consider the lilies of the field, the birds, they don't do anything, just do nothing. Just allow God to provide everything, open your hands, and everything will fall into your hands like gift manna from heaven. Is that what Jesus is actually saying in that gospel passage? I don't think it is quite. What we have to realize is that Jesus was talking to people in his day who, fortunately for them, did have clothes on their back. They did have enough food to eat day by day. They weren't poverty-stricken. So that's the context in which Jesus was teaching of that time. But I do think that he was also saying there are things that we should do that are quiet and peaceful and still making. There is a case for doing nothing, or not doing nothing. There is a case for being quiet, for actively being quiet and still and praying and meditating and contemplating and actively appreciating God's creation all around, which is very much what our display is doing this morning. So there's a teaching from Jesus to do things that are quiet and minimal. At the same time, there's teaching from Jesus to do stuff that needs doing, to act for the good of the planet, to act against injustice, to change the world, and as many of these displays have done, also to think about making relationships. These marvelous pictures about our relationships with each other, how important it is to be connected to each other, to reach out and make friends with each other, support each other, and make friends and be supported by God. So there's the horizontal dimension and the vertical dimension, to think of the activity in which Jesus is enjoining us both to be still, actively to be still, and also to do stuff. So let's go forward from this gospel today and do some stuff today, and I invite those of you that have brought harvest gear, harvest goods to go to the Loaves and Fishes project to come up now and place them either at the foot of the desk there or in our food trolley now. So if you have some things, it'd be lovely to add to the collection. Please do come up and move actively to help others. Please do come up.
All right.
Great. Thank you very
95
much.
is a long time, isn't it?
This food will go to the Loaves and Fishes project, the Sisters of the Church in central Bristol. It's not a food bank because they just give everything away. Anybody can come and it's just given away, and that's marvellous. Thank you. And some of the produce, the vegetables, will be turned by Matilde into pickles and piccalilli and different things. Great. Okay, let's stand and say together the creed. Affirmation of faith on page 7, I think, of the
It is.
prayer book.